hello, and welcome to the Chucast. It's True the Whoop. Welcoming you to KCC Quarterfinals. Now, I have a message from commentator Connor. He says he is very sick, and he's very sad that he's missing such a momentous occasion. But he said he'll be back for semifinals and finals, so look forward to that. We have our matches determined. We have Endless versus Breadboi as our first match. Chu, or me, versus Kylo. Then in Slifer Red, we have Leo versus Shadow, and Trey versus CB. Now, let's see how this goes, baby. Who do you think's gonna win it all? Comment down below. That was me channeling Connor, okay? Leave me alone. First up, we have first seed Endless, the Golden Lord, versus Rookie of the Year, Breadboi. Match 1 is Evil Eye Eldritch versus Salaman Great. Breadboi is going first, starting with a normal summon of Flame Buffalo, linking into Balinks, adding Sanctuary, and discarding Spinny to draw 2. He Silent Minings for Gazelle, and summons it to dump a card, but it's met with an Imperm. He makes Sunlight Wolf, summoning back Spinny to get Gazelle back to hand, set 1, and pass. Endless starts by activating Domain, which runs into Breadboi's Cosmic Cyclone. He uses Eldritch, discarding Hawk to pop Sunlight Wolf, which triggers Gazelle to summon. Endless sets a card and pops it to try and summon Eldritch, but it's met with a Skullmeister. Endless then summons Sergio, adding and activating Eye of Selene, then proceeds to beat over Spinny, move to end phase, banishing Hawk to set Sanguine. In standby, Endless activates Sanguine, summoning Eldritch. Breadboi starts by activating Foxy and Grave, to which Endless chains Sergio to pop Gazelle. Breadboi links into Balinks and summons Jaguar from Grave. He links into Splash Mage, which summons Falco from Grave. He links into Transcode, reviving Sunlight Wolf, and makes Access Code, popping Endless's board, swinging in for a large chunk of damage. Endless tries to get a foothold back into the game, but a Solemn Strike prevents Endless from getting to his Eldritch, which lets Breadboi swing for Game 1. Game 2, Endless is going first, activating Prosperity for 6, grabbing a Ryo from the Excavation. He activates Domain, adding Sergio to hand, then summons Ryo, passing. Breadboi summons Jaguar, linking into Balinks, which gets met with a Ghost Mourner, forcing Breadboi to set 3 and pass, to which Endless blind Cyclones in the end phase. Endless summons Sergio, attacking into Balinks, which gets met with a Rage, destroying Ryo. Endless swings in for a chunk of damage and passes the turn. Breadboi summons Buffalo, linking into Balinks, then summons Jaguar and Sea Archiver, making Update Jammer and linking into Transcode. Endless sees the writing on the wall and forfeits Game 2. Match 2, we're seeing Eldritch versus Code Talker. Breadboi won the die roll and chooses to go first, summoning 4-Mud Skipper and Cyber's Converter to start off the combo, which adds Parallel Exceed to hand. He uses the insane extension prowess of Signet Codic to facilitate his combo and eventually end on an extra link with 2 set cards, passing. Endless starts by discarding Eldritch to try and pop Firewall, but gets met with Signet Conflict. Endless tries to activate Eldritch and Grave, but Breadboi bounces it to hand with Firewall, forcing Endless to set 3 and move to end phase, triggering Huaquero, setting Sanguine, to which Breadboi chains a blind Cyclone. Breadboi links into Access Code Talker, which gets met with a Grand Horn of Heaven. Firewall triggers, summoning Linkslayer from hand. He swings for 3k, then moves to main 2, summoning Transcode and activating Signet Optimization, moving to end phase where Endless activates Sanguine, summoning Eldritch. Endless activates Eldritch in hand, popping Codec, then activates Engrave to summon. He swings over Transcode, then links into Lina, reviving a Code Talker, which lets him make Zeroboros, to which Breadboi summons a monster to a Link Arrow, triggering Zeroboros, and with not enough gas, Breadboi surrenders on the following turn. Breadboi starts Game 2 by summoning Ibli and linking into Kuriboh. He activates Ibli, which gets met with the Meister, forcing him to pass, to which Endless sets 3 and is met by a blind double Cyclone in his end phase. Breadboi summons 4-Mud Skipper, linking into Splash Mage, reviving Ibli. He summons Scripton and links into Update Jammer, and Endless forfeits. Game 3 starts with Endless setting 5 and passing. Breadboi starts with a blind Cyclone, hitting a Black Horn of Heaven. He then summons Linkslayer, discarding 2 to pop 2, which gets met with a Lost Wind. He links into Code Talker with Generator. He summons Softskaper and Sea Archiver, linking into Splash Mage, which also gets met with a Lost Wind. He links into Transcode, reviving Code Talker, swinging in for a large chunk of damage and passing. Endless activates Black Awakening, summoning Eldritch and passes. Breadboi uses Santa Claus to remove Eldritch, but Endless summons Eldritch back with White Awakening. With a normal summon of 4 Mud Skipper into X-Code Talker, Breadboi is able to climb into Access Code, and Endless forfeits once more, seeing the writing on the wall. Finishing up Obelisk Blue, we have the Rocket Scientist Kylo versus Birdbrain Chu. Chu is going first using a combo of Lost World and Ovi. He's able to get through his combo, ending on UCT, Statue, Simorg, with the addition of Quatless and Mist shuffled back into deck. Kylo starts with a Dark Ruler, turning off all Chu's interruptions. He turns the token into Link Spider, then uses Chaos Space, sending Wyver Burster to add Collapse Serpent. He summons it, then activates Chaos Space, which gets met with a Skullmeister. He links into Striker, adding Boot Sector to hand. He links into Beat Cop, then summons Rocket Synchron and Absorouter, then summons Chaos Ruler, adding an Excavated Phantasme. He activates Boot Sector to summon Tracer, popping Phantasme to summon Recharger and link into LP. He turns the Tracer into another Striker, then activates LP summoning Brotar, which adds Levy Near to hand. He activates Striker, adding Recharge to hand, then uses it to summon Tracer and link into Pisty, reviving Recharger. He makes Delintris and Quad Boral, activating the effect of Pop Simorg and revive Rockets and Grave. He makes Borrelend and Boral Savage, then summons Levy Near, ripping a card in hand. He activates Borrelend to summon Tracer, then Overlay for Zombie Sign and swing over Chu's board, passing. First take, by the way, holy shit. Chu summons Keystone by returning Repro, then activates Mist, then uses it to banish 4, summoning Ovi. Giant Rex summons from Banish, and Chu adds Arco to hand. He summons Arco, popping Rex to add Pill to hand. He summons Transverser, trading Ovi for Borrelend, then Pills for UCT, flips everything and swings for game 1. Game 2, Kylo's going first, using Dragon Shrine to send Absorouter, which Chu negates with Meister. However, with the Safer in hand, he's able to still end on Sphere's pass. Chu Foolish Burials Rex, and Santa Clauses over Spheres. He activates Lost World, then activates Mist. He banishes 2 Dinos for UCT, then starts swinging in. He protects the token, popping Baby from deck, summoning Ovi, adding Baby. Chu then goes through his combo and ultimately forgets he sighted out Statue. With a Dark Ruler, Kylo's able to combo off once more, getting to Borrelend and friends, attacking in. With a top deck Lithosagem, Chu forfeits. Game 3! Chu with a rough hand. Lost World with a single set monster. With no interruptions, Kylo is able to pop off with his Dragon Link, climbing all the way to Borrelend and friends, swinging in for a 2-1 victory. Match 2 between Chu and Kylo Simorg, a recently uncovered deck for Chu vs Herald, a menacing tier 3 with a record of a tier 1. Kylo's going first, summoning Diviner, sending Arclight, which adds Ben 10 to hand. He activates Pre-Prep, adding Dawn of the Heralds and Perfection to hand. He uses Dawn of the Herald to summon Perfection, then trigger Ben 10, adding Eva to hand. With multiple negates on board and Chu bricking, Kylo takes game 1 easily. Game 2, Chu is able to set up his desired board of Simorg, Statue, and Sky Battle going first. However, Kylo activates evenly, forcing Chu to keep Simorg. This game goes on for about 17 turns, where neither player is able to do much, Chu not being able to play due to Herald, and Kylo not being able to beat over Simorg. Eventually, Kylo gets to Clear Wing, switching Herald to attack. When Clear Wing goes for the attack, Simorg protects itself, and next turn Chu gets over Herald, but unfortunately Kylo has the Orange Light to negate the Simorg and eventually swing for lethal and move on to semifinals. Up first in Slifer Red, we have the menacing protagonist of the season, Leo, versus Mr. RNG Draft, Shadow. Match 1 is Danger versus Armed Dragon. Shadow's going first, summoning Pile and level 10 White, passing. Leo starts by Kaijoing Pile, then summoning Godarla to his field. Leo summons Orochi, to which Shadow Ghost Mourners. Leo Thunderbirds hitting it, popping the face down. He overlays for Droglubian, attacking over Shadow's Godarla and passing. Shadow sets one and passes, to which Leo responds by popping his board with Bigfoot and Thunderbird. Leo then overlays all the way into 7 Sins, attacking in. With a singular card, Shadow walls up, but Leo summons Gren Maju next turn and swings for game 1. Game 2 goes much the same as game 1, especially considering it looks like Shadow bricked on high-level dragons. Letting Leo freely use his dangers to make BLS and start swinging in, Shadow doesn't seem to draw any semblance of a play and is forced to forfeit game 2. Match 2 is Plunder vs Ocean Package. Leo's going first, starting with shipping for List, equipping it with Whitebeard, then summoning Whitebeard, linking into Blackbeard, triggering Whitebeard, summoning Redbeard from deck and passing. Shadow starts with a Murray of Greed, then summons Neptibus, dumping Dragoons to add Dragoons. He summons Abyss Megalo, adding Mizuchi to hand. He links for Abyss Glacia, then summons Malin Glacia, then swings through Leo's board. Despite Leo's attempt to get back into the game, Abyss Glacia, sending heavy infantry, puts the nail in the coffin, and Leo forfeits Game 1. Game 2, Leo starts with a Shipyard, adding Whitebeard, then summoning Whitebeard, setting 1, and passing. Shadow starts with a 1-for-1 for Neptibus, which gets met with a Book of Moon. However, Shadow normal summons the Neptibus in hand, sending Dragoons for Dragoons, to which Leo Skullmeisters the Dragoons in grave. Shadow activates Deep Sea Arya to add Dragoons to hand, then summons Abystius, adding Megalo to hand. He summons Megalo, adding and activating Mizuchi, then links into Abyss Glacia, passing. This time, Leo is able to push through the negates, ending on Blackbeard plus Booty, but is still unable to really get a foothold in this game, and loses on Shadow's next turn. Match 3 is Thunder Dragon vs Tenyi. Shadow is going first, summoning Adhara and linking into Monk. Shadow activates Vessel, dumping Vishuddha for Ashuna. He tributes for Vanity's Fiend, sets 2 and passes. A few turns go by where Leo's holding on by setting monsters to stave off Vanity's Fiend, while Shadow is unable to apply more offensive pressure. Turn 6, Leo activates Allure, drawing into it he needed to get rid of Vanity's Fiend. He summons Luna, adding another to hand. He tries to bounce, but Shadow sends another Fiend to negate, forcing Leo to pass. Shadow goes and swings in with Vanity's Fiend, to which Leo activates Luna, finally bouncing Fiend to hand. In main 2, Shadow makes Monk and passes, to which Leo is able to follow up with Lethal to a 8-card grip full of gas. Game 2, Shadow's once again going first, summoning Ashuna into Monk, then Vessel, dumping Mermer for Shithana. He summons Vishuddha, then uses Ashuna to summon Nahata, and make Shaman, reviving Mermer. This allows him to link into Sahasrara and make Draco Berserker. Leo starts with double Allure, generating massive amounts of advantage. He activates Melody, adding Levianir and Ashatos to hand. He discards Dragonhawk to summon Dragondark from the Banish Zone, then banishes 3 for Levianir, which gets met with Draco Berserker. He summons Skullmeister, then makes B-Cop into Verte, banishing 3 for Ashatos, calling Worm. Shadow summons Shithana, then activates Vessel, dumping Adhara, passing because he can't special summon Worms, which lets Leo swing for Lethal the following turn. Finishing up quarterfinals, we have the blind second bandit CB versus the man with a need for speed, Trey. First up is Crusadia versus Adamancipator. Trey is going first using Doki to summon Doki. He summons Researcher, excavating and summoning Blue Crystal. He makes Raptite, then summons Seeker, summoning Guardian off Seeker. He makes Crystal Wing, then reborns Raptite, summoning Analyzer off the effect. He makes Dragite, and in end phase, Guardian destroys itself. CB starts by using Gamseel and Dragite, then activating Kaiju Slumber, putting Trey's Kaiju in the EMZ column. He summons Leonis, linking into Magius, summoning Draco from hand, which lets him search Arborea. He makes Regulus, summoning Arborea, letting him search Power. He makes Echomax, then summons Crown, and swings in for just under lethal, makes Avermax in main 2 and passes, to which Trey forfeits on the draw. Game 2, CB is forced to go first, summoning 4-month Skipper, activating the effect, revealing Regulex. He links into Magius, adding Parallel Exceed to hand, to which Trey responds with Droll. CB summons Maximus, linking into Regulex, which triggers Exceed, letting him make IP, then Avermax, setting a card and passing. Trey starts with a Santa Claus on Avermax. He summons Red Crystal, which lets him summon Researcher, excavating and summoning Doki. Doki summons Analyzer, which in turn summons Blue Crystal off the top. He then synchros for Dragite, bouncing Santa Claus to hand, then makes Raptite, summoning Researcher. He makes Crystal Wings, summoning Seeker from hand, excavating and summoning Guardian. CB forfeits, seeing lethal on board. Game 3, CB is going first, starting with a 4-month Skipper once again. He links into Magius, adding Exceed to hand. He summons Arborea, triggering Magius. He links into Regulex, summoning Draco. Then links into Equimax, summoning Exceed. He summons Maximus, links into IP, sets 2, and passes. Trey starts by summoning Blue Crystal. He then summons Seeker, to which CB books Seeker. Trey summons Researcher, and CB chains Equimax to negate. Trey chains Cyclone on the back row, so CB activates the set Power. Trey summons Raptite, so CB activates IP to link into Avermax. Trey summons Analyzer off of Raptite, then excavates and summons Supplier off of Analyzer. He makes Dragite, bouncing Avermax. He reborns Researcher, excavating and summoning Red Crystal off the top, making Crystal Wing, then swinging in and passing. CB is able to climb to Regulex through the use of the 2 Crusaders in hand and the Arborea engraved to protect a monster from Crystal Wing, but the next turn, Trey is able to just make Dragite again, bouncing Regulex and swinging for game. Match 2 is Quakimeru vs Cyber Dragon. Trey is going first, activating Diamond Core to add Supplier, summon Overload, set 1, and pass. CB activates Kaiju Slumber, which lets Trey summon Supplier, then CB summons Core, adding and activating Emergency to add hers. He discards hers to summon Soldier, then discards the searched Sidra for the second Soldier. He Contact Fuses into Fortress, then makes Nova. He summons Sidra off the use of Nova from Grave, then Kaiju's Trey Supplier to contact into a second Fortress. CB makes CDI, then swings for game. Game 2, Trey is going first, summoning Analyzer, excavating and summoning Doki, which lets him summon Guardian from deck. He makes Raptite, triggering Supplier to summon. Raptite summons Researcher, which ends up whiffing an excavation, so Trey makes Crystal Wings and passes. CB starts with Emergency for hers. He discards hers for Soldier, which gets met by Guardian. CB summons Sidra, the normal summons Core, which gets met with a Crystal Wing negate, forcing CB to attack and pass. Despite deck lockdown and Discord, Trey is able to summon cards like Maximus and Silent Honor Arc to swing for game. Game 3, Trey is going first, forced to set 1 and pass. CB starts by summoning Core, adding Emergency, activating to add Natchter. He summons Natchter and makes Union Carry, equipping Orbital from deck. Orbital adds Soldier to hand, then CB uses Repair Plant, adding hers. He uses the Soldier-Hers combo to get 2 on board, to which Trey activates D-Barrier, calling Xyz. CB Rev System for Natchter, summoning Sidra, making Mega Fleet and Fortress, attacking in and passing, to which Trey forfeits on the draw with nothing to do. Match 3 is Union Package vs Speedroid. Trey is going first using Wind to get Stormwinds to hand. He summons the Statue and Dinah, then links into Rubber Band Shooter. He activates the effect, getting Terratop to hand. He summons Terratop, getting Taka Tomborg to field, then Tomborg into Dendaiko Duke, making Charge Warrior. He summons Car Turbo and passes. CB starts with a Lightning Storm, hitting spells and traps. He set rotations for his field spell, then summons Crush Wyvern, equipping Driver, then activating Driver for another Wyvern. He makes Union Carrier, both Wyverns triggering, summoning A and B, linking into IP. He equips Orbital with Carrier, adding Soldier to hand, summoning it, and another one to make CDI, absorbing Charge Warrior. He summons Dragon Buster and Trey forfeits, seeing the writing on the wall. Game 2, Trey is once again going first, starting with Terratop to facilitate his combo, climbing through Auroradon into Warbalan, making Puzzle and Charge Warrior. He summons Dinah and Dendaiko, passing. CB starts with the Galaxy Soldier, then summons Support Armor, reviving Wyvern to make Union Carrier. He equips Driver to get to Drake. It makes IP, then summons a second Soldier, making CDI, then fusing into Dragon Buster, swinging over Trey's entire board. With multiple interruptions, Trey is unable to get a foothold in this board state and goes out like a man, swinging Card Turbo into Avermax. Well, quarterfinals down, semifinals next. It's unfortunate that I got eliminated, to summon something with more than 1850 attack points. I'm still pissed about it. It's a joke. Anyway, good games to Kylo. And our 4 semifinalists are Breadboi versus Kylo and Leo versus CB. Now, I'm very hyped about this Leo versus CB fight. It seems like it's going to be a very, very interesting one. Now, to remind you all, semifinals and finals are best of 5. So, coaches like Leo, who have a broken best of 3, have to work in their lesser, worse decks like Abyss Actor and, Fabled Keck W. So, I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all comment, rate, subscribe. It really helps that channel. If you want to see more, you know where to look. I keep doing my Twitch outro. I don't know why.